Welcome to The Pull Bag. Join us as we dig out our latest comics and discuss them with a rotating panel of the GCRN crew. So sit back and enjoy this week's Pull Bag.
Hello and welcome to The Pull Bag. This is yet again another Back Issue Classics. I believe this is our third Back Issue Classics, and we are sticking with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I am, of course, your host, TFG and Mike, and joining me is Joe Reed. Hello, sir.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
I'm well.
Yes. Your schedule's hard to control, is it?
Yes, it is. Being parent-teacher conferences and ukulele lessons, you have no idea.
As I mentioned in previous episodes here in the Pull Bag, the Back Issue Classics episodes will be delving into stuff more than just the Turtles stuff from IDW, but for now, that's what we're going with, because that's what we're reading, and we'll have to see what happens later on. So this time around, the story continues. We have Volume 3, Shadows of the Past.
And this is where the book really begins to shine for me. I mean, it's always been amazing, but this is where they really tie everything up into a neat little bow and give it to you and say, here's your childhood. We don't crap on it like Michael Bay does.
Yes, and the copy on the back. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' home in the sewers is destroyed thanks to a sinister team-up between Baxter Stockman and Old Hob. Now that the Turtles are homeless, with one of their own captured, things have never looked bleaker for our heroes. Then enter the Shredder.
Yay. We knew he was coming.
Yeah, we knew he was coming, but I think the only time I actually enjoy his design is on this front cover. I know that's kind of sad and kind of bad, but I don't know. They drew him really weird in this, in certain panels.
I'm wondering if this is I'm looking at it here.
It's the one where he's just standing there, looking all menacing. He's got his meat coleslaw makers pointed out at you.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the cover of issue 10 that they used for the cover of the trade. I think. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I've seen my perfect Shredder the way that I picture him in my imagination. I think this is one of the closer ones. I don't know. I do like the design of him when they flash back to 16th century Japan, because he looks kind of samurai armor-esque with the embellishments of the claws, which are totally not Japanese in design, but I like that look, and I guess, I don't know, modernized with finger wiggle quotes.
This one, this design of Shredder, it's a combination of what we saw in the 87 series, in the 90s movie, in the 2003 series. It's a combination of everything as far as like his uniform, like his face behind the mask, and all the, armor for making coleslaw and everything else. And so we open this one up, and we see the first picture is, at least for the trade, before we get to the actual book, is basically Splinter fighting a whole bunch of foot ninja.
I'm trying to find out which... this starts with 9, doesn't it? 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, it's 9 to 12.
Yeah. That's not how my book starts over here.
Well, no. This is the opening of the trade.
Okay.
The trade credits. Yeah, you're right. It's not how the book starts.
Okay.
But, so then we have the Shadows of the Past cover, and then it starts with April. Correct?
Yes. Now we're on the same page.
Just make sure. And again, I wish IDW... I don't know what it is with trades, with these Turtles trades. I almost wish they would have... with these, because in the trade it's numbered chapters, so it's chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. Mm-hmm. I still don't like that. I wish like issue 9 was chapter 9. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah. For the inevitable hardcover that'll have 1 through 12, issues 1 through 12 in it.
Yeah. Yep.
And it doesn't end, dear listeners, we have the other issue of the micro series
Oh,
intermixing with this, and if you actually want to have the story in order, you can't buy the two trades and read this trade and then read that trade to read it in order. You've got to dive back and forth and then know to skip that third story in the micro series because it doesn't make sense until you read. It's a bit of a
yeah,
mess, and I was just talking to
yeah,
somebody on some internet forum, like, okay, you started the Turtles book, but be careful because this is going to be a challenge.
yeah.
But see, when
So
you read it coming out live,
an issue,
it
yeah,
totally makes sense. The book is monthly, and then the little micro series are every month between on the even month. I don't know how to say it, even weeks, odd
yeah,
weeks, la la la. They come out in
yeah,
order, so it's not as much of a challenge. But reading it late, it's
yeah,
hard.
yeah. And just to let everybody know, we are going to be covering the Volume 3 trade and 2 out of the 4 stories from Micro Series Volume 2 in this episode.
Yeah, when we were trying to figure out which issues we were going to discuss or which ones I had to read versus your trades over there, we discovered that micro series book volume 2. The last two of the stories in there they happen around issue 17 or 18, so it would have made no sense for us to read them in the story. I'm sure that there are major plot points that would have just been totally ruined somehow, but
Yep.
but the story is good and it gets good.
Yes. Oh man, I can't stop reading. Like it. I mean, I was like, because originally this episode was going to be put back in March. This isn't coming out till April, but um, originally, I was like, as soon as I got it, I'm like, okay, I got to read these. I got to read these. I'm like, no, I can't. We got to wait. We got to get all this other stuff. We got to get Marvelous March out of the way here in the pull bag first, and everything else. So these trades have been literally sitting on my table for about 2 months. So we start with April, and April is it's basically where we left off in chapter 11, where April meets the turtles.
And
Um,
realizes they're her turtles from the lab.
yep, yep. She's like, "Oh my God, that is too crazy. I named you." I absolutely love the chemistry between these characters. And again, like you said last time in the last episode we did, that the Donatello Micro does catch up to us here
Yep,
because
yep.
he does mention the convention thing.
Yeah, that happened a
Uh,
lot in these issues, and there's always a little editor notes down there in the bottom.
yep, yep. So the turtles, their mission is they need to find Splinter. They need to rescue Splinter. And Splinter is a captive of Old Hob and Chet. Uh, Chet. Can't believe Chet's still around, actually.
Chet's important. Keep your eye on him.
uh, well, I think part of this, I could be wrong. Maybe it was something. I read something, Turtles, recently that at some point Baxter does get turned into a fly in this. I could be wrong. It might have been the cartoon. I don't know. Um, but
I don't think he's a fly yet. In where I'm
no,
reading.
he's not a fly yet as of this trade.
Well, no,
No.
as of where I'm reading currently, he's not a
Oh,
fly yet.
wow. It's
He
taken them all that
he
time.
might be though eventually. Utrom Empire, I think, might have something going, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the first one of those, and I get the second one held at my shop, and I got to get whenever the third one comes out. Um, so Splinter, who still,
Looks like a dog.
it's only when he, for me, it's only when he, like the viewpoint is straight on in his face. It's like,
I have to
I
give
don't
I
know.
get whoever draws Splinter, I give them kudos because I've tried to draw him. I've mentioned this before. He's gonna look like a dog. It's so hard. So
Yeah.
I'll give him all the space they want because it is not easy.
So old Hob is torturing Splinter, and he's yelling at Chet, "Answer the phone, damn it!" um, and we see that it's that it's Baxter calling him. Again, the story is just so fluid. I mean, it's like these first, the first 9 issues. It's like all continuity. It's like it's one fluid story. I absolutely love that about it. So, Stockman and General Krang are on their way to Stockgen to get back the.
It's the brain serum, the smart critter
the brain
serum.
serum. That's what
because it's in Splinter's blood, and
yep.
Baxter's the phone call. He says he's don't touch the rat until we get there. Just never what you want to do if you're a villain. Don't ever give the good guys time to do anything. Come on, Baxter.
Yeah.
Villain rule number 1: don't monologue.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Don't monologue and no capes. Oh boy! So we jump back to the turtles, who are basically going to go find Splinter, and they're gonna, because April's I can't believe she still works at StockGen, but she still works there. She doesn't have really high level access, but she's gonna help them get in. And Donnie's like, "Hang on a second, guys, I need to get something," and he grabs an old mouser. that can't be good. I'm still waiting for General Krang to just turn that TV on in his chest. Because that's where his brain is in his chest.
Yep.
And of course he threatens Baxter, and he's not pleased with the progress and all that good stuff. And the turtles sneak up to Stockton to some back entrance, and April insists that she does want to help them because, she feels, she needs to help them. She doesn't want to feel helpless anymore as far as what happened to her when all the incidents at Stockton happened. And then Donnie's fixing the Mouser to be unleashed. I gotta say, the art in this is really, I've really gotten used to the art, like the background colors, and sometimes they're bright, sometimes they're muted. Security guards. That's just hilarious. Their whole back and forth.
Trying to get that casual banter of mindless. Yeah.
It works, though. Until the Mouser breaks in and eats everybody. It's like, I think it's one of them bomb robots from downstairs. Things gone nuts. Damn it, call for backup, Jimmy. It's an interesting way how they got, because, the whole point of the Turtles is they don't want to hurt any humans. And, it's they kind of have the same philosophy as Superman and Batman.
Mm-hmm.
No killing. So it's interesting that Donnie would release a monstrous, ravenous robot.
I don't know. Well, you say that, and then on the next page, Raph stabs some dude in the arm with his sai, which
Does he?
Yes, bottom left panel, stabs a guard. Well, he had a gun pointed at him, so I think that's why he took care of him that way. But it's in the old Mirage series, it was killing everything. They kill Shredder in the first issue of that quite graphically, and it's like, hey, all right, it's not a little kid comic. And I don't know if the Turtles are not. I don't know if they've made the pledge or if they just try to avoid it. Like, would they totally murder somebody if it meant that they saved somebody that they care about, or even saved people? Well, even, dude, didn't in the 2000 cartoon, didn't Leo cut Shredder's head off and they showed it in silhouette?
I think so, but Shredder in that was an Utrom, so it's not like he had an actual human head. But yeah, well, I can kind of defend Raph stabbing the guy, because the guy does have body armor on. I mean, it's, and he does have a shoulder pad on.
And he was about to shoot Leo, Mike, and Don in the back of the head.
Yeah. That's true. I will say I absolutely love the sigh through the camera.
Yep.
So awesome. It's very, very awesome. Yeah. And I love how Casey basically steps it up and basically threatens the guy, says, "The rat, where is he?" What rat? You know damn well what rat, punk. Where? And then we have what I don't know what this thing is. It looks like some sort of super mouser.
Yeah.
The design on it is so weird because it's got arms but the arms are guns and the face doesn't really like. I like it. It's cool, but it's weird looking compared to the other mousers. So Raph and Casey go after the mouser thing. They attack it and destroy it. They find out that Hob is alive, as Chet is.
But Splinter is nowhere to be seen.
Yep, nope. That's because the Foot Clan have stolen him. I can already tell you, I don't care for Karai. Not in this version, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
She's just a little too... I don't know. She's just a little too much attitude for me. And you want to talk about monologuing? She won't shut up. Oh my god! It's like, shut up already. Oh man, I do love Splinter's narrative throughout all this, as he's talking about the past and a foe coming back from the past.
Yeah.
Feeling that he's had, that something is coming back for him.
And that's the moment where Shredder is revealed to Splinter,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he thinks he knows who it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So Splinter basically faces off against Karai. He defeats her. And then he's going to face this other super giant foot soldier looking guy. Looks like a cross between Tatsu and Bane.
I hope Tatsu shows up in either this series or the animated series, because... Did I tell you a couple of years ago, and I'd like to do it again this summer, took Japanese swordsmanship, martial art called Shinkendo, and the creator, the founder of this martial art is the actor who plays Tatsu in the Ninja Turtles movie, Toshishiro Obata. He's a big actor in Japan and does all the martial arts thing. Came to the United States because he couldn't teach his how to say, authentic, applicable? Yes, a functional sword art over there, because you either had Iaido, which is artful of just about drawing. You have Kendo, which is a sport. This is the real blade stuff, how you win at combat with swords, and he brought it here and started teaching it out of LA, and I went to a seminar and met him and took classes from him. He's incredible. He is an amazing, amazing martial artist. And so because I have met the guy and got his autograph on something and listened to him talk and teach, I really want his character to show up again in one of these books somewhere.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I can pretend this is Tatsu, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we then cut to the Turtles and April and Casey. They're in the old Stone Age van. Going back and forth, and basically saying, "Oh, it's the foot. It's got to be the foot." You know, it all makes sense now. And they arrive where they're supposed to go. Well, actually, no. April gives them a choice about, they need to stop fighting and they can go to a place where they can, kind of relax and kind of regroup. And then we go back to Shredder or not Shredder, Splinter and uh, Vanilla Ice Tatsu. I mean, come on, the guy looks like he's white. Can't see his face, but his skin, at least the way it's drawn on here. So they're fighting, and of course Splinter knows all the right moves, and
we're starting to see Shredder realize that this rat knows Foot Clan Kung Fu, well, Foot Clan Ninjutsu, and he's starting to make the realization.
Yep. And Karai basically tells him, why do you hesitate? You can kill or be killed. Then we go back to Stockjan and Stockman. Oh, God. This is so silly. So it's General Krang, Baxter Stockman, and Old Hob, and Old Hob doesn't survive this time. At least I don't think... Do they kill him here, or is it later?
I don't think they kill him.
I swear, I could have sworn that they did something.
He fires him.
Oh, that's what he does. And they go looking for Chet. Back with the Turtles, we are getting another second time around shop. I love this. This is so awesome. I'm just waiting for, them to reenact the scene from the first movie and destroy the shop. He's like, how are we going to get in? Let's kick the door down. Let's sneak in through the windows. Ninjas, sheesh, here are the keys. And Mikey and Donnie are just in heaven. Mikey's got comics, Donnie's got electronics. I will say when they're in the shop here in this scene, another scene I was kind of missing is Mikey finding a certain musical instrument and basically clanging everybody with some cymbals. That would have been so cool. So everybody's hungry, and Mikey's like, I'm on it, dudes, and I have no idea where he goes. I don't even think it shows where he goes.
He's definitely going to his pizza place.
Yeah,
I forgot the name
probably.
of
the
the guy that he's friends with.
Yeah, that's true. So back at the Foot compound here, Shredder, Splinter. I always get the two. I shouldn't get the two of them confused. One's a rat, one's a human. Splinter basically refuses to kill the guy, and as soon as Splinter says that he will not be a party to this disgrace, Shredder says it cannot be. And then he realizes that it's Hamato Yoshi. I think the only time that I really don't like Shredder's design is really that top left panel when he says Hamato's name.
Huh.
Because it looks like he's wearing a Snuggie. Come on now. That's...
I think you're right. It's that big red collar around the middle.
Yeah.
When it starts to come up over his face.
Yeah.
Like a turtleneck.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look so bad on the cover.
No, it doesn't look so bad on the cover. It's just this top left panel here on this page. And of course we find out that it is Orokosaki, so...
And I kind of just put this together this past time. He doesn't have any pupils because he's essentially undead or reborn some way, some interesting way that we don't know about yet. But he doesn't have any pupils.
Yep.
Because we know Splinter was reincarnated, but we're not exactly sure where Orokosaki came from, but it's definitely him.
Do they eventually go into it?
Yes, Secret History of the Foot Clan.
Ah, okay. We'll get to that
which is
eventually.
something that you're not supposed to know about, and I shouldn't have said anything. But now we got it.
No. Well, I mean, that's not a spoiler. I mean, I knew of Secret History of the Foot Clan. I haven't read it yet, so that's fine with me. I mean, as long as they explain how he came, that's fine. That's fine. So, so we get more narrative from Splinter,
and after that page, that's where the Splinter micro series begins.
Oh, okay.
Because then that one's the flashback and
right.
As everybody's trying to kill Splinter.
Yep. Oh yeah. So the page here, where I think it's no, it's Shredder. The page where on the left-hand side, bottom panel, where he says Foot Ninja, and then the top splash page is Attack.
Yep.
That is the page that is the first page on the trade for the cover of the trade inside the book. So that's where it comes from. It comes from issue 11. Yeah, issue 11. But yeah, no, I mean this action stuff. It's like everybody attack him now, and so we get Mikey coming back to the shop, and apparently, this is Purple Dragon's territory.
Yeah,
Mikey's just trying to bring home dinner. Damn it, leave him alone. So we run into the Purple Dragons and Angel. When's the last time we saw Angel? Was it the Casey issue? When we first got introduced to Casey?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
And I don't think she was. I don't think they mentioned that she was a purple dragon when that happened either.
Yeah, that's true. So there's this whole thing with Casey and April. They're going home. We switch back to Splinter and the Foot Ninja, and he's just demolishing them. I mean, there's just no...
This is the Splinter I like to see. You know, I like my Splinter one of two ways. I like him in the new animated series where he's upright, he's powerful, he knows all the pressure points, and he's the type of martial artist who he doesn't need to move anymore because he knows where you're going to be already, and he can just kick you.
Mm.
And so I like this Splinter where he's not afraid to move around and to be as wicked a ninja as a ninja would be who's trained for masters. And then I also like my Splinter hunched over and totally destroyed, but it still doesn't matter because he knows what he's doing and will pressure point your snot. You know, he doesn't have to even do this kind of jumping around.
Yeah.
You know, like the old kung fu movies where the masters don't need to do the flippy, jumpy, flashy stuff because they're so beyond it already. It's kind of what I wanted my Jedi to be in Star Wars. The Jedi Masters, they put down the lightsaber they didn't need anymore because they were just that powerful. And so when Yoda whipped out his lightsaber, I was like, oh, you've already lost the fight because you have to rely on that. I don't think Jedi Masters use their lightsaber.
But we waited how many years to see it, though?
Well, that's what the Jedi Knights were for.
I know.
That's what I
know.
I know. I wanted Episode 1 to be a noir buddy cop film. That's what I wanted Episode 1 to be.
Yeah, you didn't get that at all.
Nope.
All right,
Sorry.
Well, have you seen? I think it's already aired. Have you seen the next episode of the animated series?
No, my DVR
Wormhole?
the Turtles series.
Yeah,
My DVR has given up trying to record it, so I'm out.
Well, you can. Oh no! You need to watch this episode. I'll send you a link after.
All right.
Because it's actually I think it's still on Nick.com on Nickelodeon's website. But Splinter in the animated series in that episode, because that episode is a double episode. It's a two-parter. Ooh. It's 42 minutes long instead of 22 minutes long, and he Splinter moves around a lot in that double-sized episode. So back to this. So after Splinter has Karai has basically failed Shredder. She's already had her chance, and Splinter's already taken it all afoot. Shredder sends Alopex against him, and that's um, that's going to be an interesting fight there. We go back to the Turtles fighting the Purple Dragons.
Handedly defeating the Purple Dragons.
Yeah.
They're just climbing all over these guys.
Yeah. As I'm reading this back now, because when we sit here and go through these, I go through them and all kinds of references pop into my head. I was so hoping they would do some Statue of Liberty play like in Turtles 2 with the pizza. So hoping. Or Mikey and Donnie in the first movie. Wheel of Fortune, dude! I guess they're not fans of Vanna. So yeah, they're basically handing it to the Purple Dragons, and then Casey comes up, Angel? And we switch back to the Alopex and Splinter fight, and they give each other a good what for. I mean, they're not totally evenly matched, but the two of them are really interesting fighters. Mm-hmm. I love the design on Alopex. To kill you! God, she looks fierce there. And again, what I notice with this series going back and forth between the two storylines, between where Splinter is and where the Turtles and Casey and April are, the changes in the colors. Because the background color for Splinter, and this is all happening at night as far as I know, the background colors for Splinter scenes are like blue and grays and whatever else, and the background colors for the Turtles stuff is like greens and tans and browns.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting way to tell a whole story visually, but also separate the stories and tell you, hey, you're at this part now, and then you're at this part. So Splinter does defeat Alopex, and he's like, so Orokosaki, do we settle this now, master to master? And that's probably the one place that I was, when I originally read it, I was like, okay, they cliffhangered it and went back to the other story. You bastards! So we've got we've got Casey and Angel with the Turtles, and there's all this arguing back and forth. I like Casey when he's like this. I think he's really cool. He's also cooler when he's being a badass. But what boils down to this part of the story is that they agree to a truce for now.
It's interesting because usually the Purple Dragons they're the people that the Foot Clan recruit from.
Yeah.
But now they're siding with the Turtles in this. I don't remember Well, when did the Purple Dragons show up in the Mirage series? I need to reread that, I think.
And then we get that big picture after the truce has been settled. and Raph, time to stomp some foot. Oh, man. We get back to Splinter. And the monologue. The monologue is so great. I am old. I am tired. He says, but I will not allow any of these things to stop me. And the two of them go at it. And that final page for chapter 11, or for issue 11, that would be an amazing print. The two of them going at it like that. Oh man, I don't think I've ever seen I've seen Splinter use his walking stick. I've seen him use a nunchuck. I don't think I've ever seen him use a sword.
That's probably what he's most familiar with. I'd have to assume.
Yep. So, for chapter 12, we start with, or issue 12, I should say. Um, start with the house that supposedly Splinter and Shredder are fighting at. And their battle is pretty intense. I mean, the way that this is drawn, the way it's colored.
Oh yeah, the colors are there's more white to emphasize the impacts.
Yep. Absolutely love it. And again, I love the monologue from Splinter, the internal monologue. And now we get to the flashbacks, and it's so like I don't know why it wasn't obvious to me before about the colors with the because they their shirts are all their colors as when they were children. Did you ever notice that?
Yep. That was in that issue where it's flashing back and forth. Splinter going to go get the headbands for the kids. When I saw the four of them in the bed and their little collars were peeking up above the blankets, I started squealing on the inside, like, "Oh my god, that's how they're gonna do it! That's amazing!" Too exciting of a way to handle that.
So the battle continues, and they both get in some really good knocks on each other. I mean, they're like fighting to the death here. Did Shredder just do palm to the... Did he just give Splinter a face palm? Really? Seriously? That's crazy. Again, the story is so great. The way that they write... The way that Eastman and Waits, or Waltz write this, Tom Waltz, I believe... I can't tell if it's an L or an I on the trade, but the way that it's written, it's so well written.
It's Waltz, yes.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So the turtles basically arrive
just as Shredder's about to give the killing blow, and Splinter is asking for forgiveness from his sons. Yay! The cavalry has arrived.
Yep. I was almost hoping that there would be some sort of turtle van, but anyway.
Someday, maybe.
Someday, maybe.
I don't know, maybe not in this series, since it seems to be slightly more serious. I don't think they'd be as conspicuous as that.
No, I don't think so either. But Shredder is fascinated with these turtles. And
because he's figuring it out.
Yeah, because he even asks in quotations, "Father," and then he says, "Fascinating."
I can't find that part. I'm looking.
It's
I don't have page numbers.
Oh.
There we go. Gotcha. He's grabbing Mikey's nunchuck.
Yep. And again, the art, the way the colors are done, the way the backgrounds are done is so intense in this series, but it doesn't make you feel like it's overpowering to look at them, and that's what's so great about it. So we get the battle. Leo's like, "Get away from my brother!" And Splinter's basically telling them the only way that you're going to defeat Shredder is if you all work as a team. You have to work as one. And that is so awesome. Why is it when... How did his... Oh, yeah, that's how it happened. Donnie basically comes up and basically smacks Shredder in the face, knocking his whole mask off. And he goes to throw a star at Leo, and Leo's like, "I am unimpressed." The panel where it says "I am," it basically shows Shredder's incredulous look, but it reminds me of when, and I know this is going to sound bad because not a lot of people like the third movie, but it reminds me of when they exploded the daimyo in the bell.
I need to see that again. I haven't watched that since I was in my tens.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I usually watch the first one if I'm going to sit down and watch a Ninja Turtle movie. Important reference of note on this two-page spread here. When Leo, I've got my family with me this time, and he leaps at Shredder, that is taken directly from issue 1 in the rooftop battle between the four turtles and Shredder.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's Leo does that in the story. And I don't know about the next two panels. I'd have to go dig that up. Which is also kind of interesting to note that this issue 12 is the cover is a replica of issue 1 of the Mirage Turtles, which is where the Turtles first faced Shredder in that series, and here it is here.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. So
lots of homages, I imagine, and I'm probably missing tons of them because I haven't read that recently.
Yep. So the
oh, you're right. Old Hob is shot on the next page.
Yeah.
Baxter's done with him.
Yep. That's right.
Then I spoiled it. He survives.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he
How?
does. He's... I don't know. He's a mutant. They heal quick. Yeah, that's it. That's right.
Old Hob is nowhere near as cool as Wolverine. So yeah, they have this weird hover plane, as you said. Baxter shoots him, and they're Krang's like, "Bring Stockman, leave the cat." It is period of time has come, gentlemen, for Plan B. I have no idea what Plan B is, but I'm looking forward to it.
I do.
Shut up.
Which, I'm kind of wondering why they don't take Old Hob, because Old Hob had the mutagen in him. Oh, but he wasn't getting treatments like Splinter the Rat was getting brain treatments before he was mutated.
Right.
It's not the mutagen they need, it's the brain stuff. Got it.
Yep. So we go back to Angel, Casey, and the Turtles, and Casey can't thank her enough, and Angel meets April for half a second. So April, meets Splinter and Miss O'Neill, Splinter, and I like the reverse of this. Every time I've ever seen April, she's been the one on the couch.
How did I ever dream of Harrison Ford?
Oh God. But yeah. So we get she's afraid that she would never be able to thank him for saving her life, and that's how it ends.
The family is reunited.
Yes, it is.
If Raph were drawn on that panel, that'd be everybody.
Yeah, where is Raph?
Is he in the previous page? Yeah, he's in there. He's back there.
Yeah.
I think that's a drastic oversight, rather, in that last panel, not having Raph.
Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't like foreshadowed behind Casey a little bit instead of that painting or that picture on the wall.
Or leaning over the back of the couch or behind Leo.
Yeah, something. So, in the trade, we have the art gallery.
Jealous of you.
We have the art gallery. One of them is
hey, that
Shredder.
Airplane flying overhead on your end of the recording sounded like when Casey Jones nailed Tatsu and then the airplane flew over as he launches backward. Remember that scene?
Yep.
Oh no 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 no! The
No,
airplane
it
sound
wasn't.
is when they like nice place, guys, in the sewer. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the sound.
Yeah. The really cool part about this is I assume it's an alternate cover, but it's basically Angel and the other three purple dragons. But it has a purple and gold purple dragon logo behind them. That is pretty cool. Um, and we get some more art, some art that almost kind of looks like movie style, but it isn't really movie style. They basically put a whole bunch of stuff in this.
Have you seen the new movie style action figures?
Yes.
I kind of want those. They don't look as good as that Toy Fair repainted or beautifully painted version, but they still look good.
Oh, you mean
The real
the
movie,
class?
yes, the ones that are like 9 inches tall.
Okay, not the ones for the new movie.
No, those. I'm not entirely sure those exist yet. I want to
Oh
see
boy.
them in motion, and I want to try and sit through that movie before I badmouth it. But I'm not optimistic.
You know, my main complaint about the movie so far, the new Michael Bay produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, is the fact that everyone seems to think that he's in the director's chair
I
for
know.
this.
Don't blame him.
Yeah,
It's the
okay,
money.
sure. Yeah, he's the money, but he is not a silent partner by any means. But still, you can blame him a little bit, but it's his production company. It's Jonathan somebody else, I forget what his last name is, that is directing the film. So, all right, Volume 3 Shadows of the Past. I loved it. I thought it was great. There wasn't a moment in it where I was like, "Oh god." There hasn't been a moment this entire series so far that I didn't like. Um as I said, I would say that the one panel, and I really can't even take off points for this at all, but the one panel that I really didn't like is when it looks like Shredder's red scarf looks like a damn snuggie or something.
It's like Carl Sagan turtleneck.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. Perfect.
Yep.
It's still going strong. It's still amazing. I'm really surprised I haven't bought the rest of the trades to just read already by myself. I'm trying not to so we can actually do these episodes. What about you for rating Volume 3?
Definitely the same 5 out of 5. It's continues to be an impressive series. And I just love the fan service, and I love the amount of love that the book has. And that's the big way to win me over anything, with especially this retro new geek chic kind of rehash of our childhood. So when it's done with a huge amount of love, and you can tell, like, you've won me, like the
Yeah.
DuckTales HD remake, that was made by a team of people who loved the original game. The people who are making this book are people who loved the original book, the original cartoon, and all of the source material. That's just the way to my heart, is showing me a
Well,
passionate thing that you love.
and plus, you have one of the original creators. You have Eastman.
Hmm.
I mean, you know, and see, Eastman has always been, at least from what I've been able to tell, he's always been kind of on board with everything. Where Laird has kind of been, that's not my version. That's not the version I envision, kind of guy. But every time I've ever seen anything Turtles come up, Eastman has always been a proponent of it, and Laird's just kind of been curmudgeonly about it. I guess you could say is the nicest thing I could say about
Yeah,
it.
I'd like to meet him now that I've met Kevin Eastman and listened to him talk at a comic panel. I think Eastman took that big break from the Turtles and has now come back and said, "All right, these guys gave me my riches and my fame. I need to give them some love and give the fans some love." And so I think he's excited to come back. And
Oh
then there's
yeah,
Laird, who never stopped working on the Turtles. I mean, he's volume 1, 2, 3. He's always been there and involved and at Mirage Studios doing books. He seems exhausted and just like
yeah.
doesn't want anything to do with it. But I don't know if we talked about it last time. For the 30th anniversary of the Ninja Turtles, Eastman and Laird have collaborated on a cover, which is the first time they've worked together since, well, one, a charity auction a couple of years ago, but before that, since Eastman left the book. So this is huge that Eastman and Laird are working together again. The fact that they're in the same room gives me hope that something amazing will happen with Laird. I hope this inspires him to finish Volume 4, because I want to read that.
I don't think it's just the cover. I think it's a whole 30th anniversary book.
Well, it's a book, but I don't know how much of the inside they're doing together. I've seen the cover. That I've seen the artwork. Laird posted it on his blog and did a step-by-step kind of process drawing of it, and it was incredible just to see their collaboration like that. And Eastman's like, yeah, I like what he changed when he added this and that, and that's just neat stuff.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back and talk about Splinter and Casey Jones in Micro Series Volume 2 after this.
What the hell was that? I don't know. Well, that was a crime, you purse-scrubbing pukes. And this is the penalty. 2 minutes for slashing, 2 minutes for hooking, and let's not forget my personal favorite, 2 minutes for high stick.
How about a 5-minute game misconduct for roughing, pal?
Hey, Bogey, now who died and made you referee? You did your job, now get out of here and let me do mine. These JV lowlifes need to be taught a lesson.
Not like that, they don't. Not from you.
Well, it looks like you're the one who needs to be taught a lesson, pal. Class is paying 101. Your instructor's Casey Jones.
Look, I don't want to fight you.
Well, tough rocks, pal.
A Jose Canseco bat? Tell me, you didn't pay money for this.
Ooh, that's it. Stood for one sale, pal. Hey, what are you, some sort of punker?
Huh?
God, I hate punkers. Especially bald ones with green makeup. Who wear masks over ugly faces. Ooh.
No better!
Strike one! Whoa, whiffer!
Home run! Raphael wins! 1-0! Well?
New game, Roundhead. Cricket.
Cricket? Nobody understands cricket. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
I'll teach you. Hey, 6 runs.
Slow, freak. I got work to do. Freak! Freak! What the heck was that?
Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat. You're gonna look out of here, right?
Come back here! I'm not finished with you! Damn!
We are back, and as we said in the beginning of the episode here, we're going to talk about 2 out of the 4 stories from Micro Series Volume 2. Face to face with the man who killed his family so many years ago, Master Splinter comes to terms with a life of assassination, love, and redemption. When the criminal element strikes too close to home, Casey Jones is forced to decide how far he'll go to keep a very important promise. Micro Series Volume 2. Splinter and Casey are the first two stories. I can't talk. And then April and Fugitoid, which we will be pairing up with, I believe it's Volume 5 Krang War, which is issues 17 through 20 of the series. We open up with a I have the art by David Peterson. It's Splinter,
Yeah.
basically. It's basically him in his meditation spot with all these candles around him with a thing of tea and a mug that says "I Heart New York" on it.
And leave it to David Peterson, who draws mice all the time, to make Splinter kind of look like a rat. Thank you, David
Yeah.
Peterson.
Yes,
If anybody
he
can do it,
does.
you can.
Yeah, he does look rat-like, and then you change it to the next page, and it's back
He's
to
a
an old
dog
dog.
again.
Yep.
You can't give him buck teeth and expect him to look like a rat. It's not going to work.
Oh God, it's this is one time that Scooby's speech really does make sense. Splinter is a rog. um, so Splinter has this huge monologue as he's fighting all the Foot Ninja. Now these are different. I have to actually go back here because these stories, different writers, different artists. For
Yeah,
Splinter,
the micro series, they go get somebody that they're a fan of and let them do it.
Micro series for Splinter is written by Eric Burnham, who actually wrote, I believe, the Free Comic Book Day issue last year of the Turtles animated series.
Oh,
For the new animated adventures. Artwork is done by Charles Paul Wilson III, colors by Jay Photos, and lettering is done by Sean Lee. For Casey, it's written by Mike Costa and Ben Epstein. Oh my god, this is the first time I've read anything from Mike Costa. I've heard nothing but bad stuff from him, yet Casey was actually pretty good. We'll get to that. Artwork is by Mike Henderson, colors by Ian Herring, and again, letters by Sean Lee.
you need to go back and look at the Splinter cover again because there's some important things that I have spotted.
Bandanas, maybe?
On his robe, there are 4 patches, a blue, orange, purple, and red one.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
never
right.
noticed that before. And on the shelves behind him, one of them is a trade paperback of the Ninja Turtles, an old book. There is
wow.
also the mutagen canister with green residue in it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So, way cool for that.
Way cool. Did you notice the other thing? I think it's did you notice what's on the very top shelf?
There's a Statue of Liberty. Oh, very top shelf, there's a Mouser head, I think.
Mouser head, yep. I thought I
There's
recognized
a
that.
Lucky Cat Chinese restaurant calendar.
That's so wrong.
And a fondue pot. There's a fondue pot back there, too.
Yeah. I really did. Outside of Splinter, I will say Splinter looks a little old in this. As far as the way his face is drawn, he is still kind of drawn like a dog, but it looks like it's a dog with a goatee.
Yeah.
But the art style in this is so different from the ongoing. Shredder still has his Snuggie. And it basically takes you between the fight now and the present that Splinter is doing and the fighting that he did in the past against Oroku Saki.
Yeah, in this, they're flashing between the two, and I think the monologue is kind of that Splinter's doing is insinuating that now he's a much calmer person, even though he's doing these violent things. He's in control of it, and when they flash back to the past, it's a very hot-headed Hamato Yoshi, and he makes a reference to he's more like Raphael, short-tempered and violent, and
you know, it makes more sense here than it has anywhere else because Raphael is his actual son. So it would make sense that Splinter's temper would get passed on. So basically,
this hurts me right here.
what?
I'm looking at, and I don't know, maybe I'm being a snob. He's the master that they're talking to with his katanas tucked into his belt. He's wearing his swords upside down.
Yeah, he is.
You can't do that. You'll cut your fingers off when you draw them.
Yeah, you will.
It looks like it should be that way. You know, that's how I put my wooden swords in my belt when I was a kid. But now that I know better, you can't do that.
Yeah, no. And And the funny thing is, it's only in that one panel, at that top panel, when he pulls it out, because in the very next panel, they're in there correctly. Wow. That's crazy. So basically, this part of the flashback is the master teaching Hamato Yoshi that he needs to control his anger, and he basically leaves him out there for, what is it, 2 or 3 days or something or other. Where is it?
Overnight.
Overnight. It's basically a camping trip, ladies and gentlemen.
Here, you sit there on that rock and you think about what you did.
Yeah, exactly. And as he's sitting there on that rock, we meet Tang Shen, and he basically falls in love with her right away. Quite literally.
He does. Into the river.
Yes. Into the river and through the woods. So they have, moments and all that stuff, and he says in the monologue that once she was there, he was immediately calm. I guess as soon as his love for her took over. What I will say, and I'm kind of jumping ahead here myself, what I will say that about this series is that it was just Splinter and Tang Shen. It was just Hamato Yoshi and Tang Shen. There was no love triangle like they've tried to, not necessarily push on us in the past, but basically the story that I know is that he and Saki basically fought for her love. Thankfully, that's not here, as far as I know.
Nope. And I think I really, if I'm going to prepare for this podcast, I should go read the old Mirage series just to see, and I can then draw the comparisons between the two. I think they make that just like in the movie, they ran away to the United States. Tang Shen and Hamato Yoshi and Splinter came and killed him, or Shredder. See, I'm doing it too. Curse you! It's your fault. Shredder comes and kills him. Kills both. Kills her. I guess he doesn't kill both of them. Yeah. Not in that series. Well, I promise next time I'll have read Volume 1 of the original series.
Very cool. Very cool. Oh my god.
So, we're here, let's see, Hamato Yoshi is calming down, but he's still a member of this ninja clan and going on these assassination missions. I'm at a point here where Oroku Saki and Yoshi are paired to do a mission, and they're given explicit instructions to handle it a certain way. But Saki, probably maybe looking to throw the wrench into Hamato Yoshi's life, decides to abandon the plan, which causes Yoshi to abandon the plan.
Yep.
And in doing so, he gets himself into some trouble and barely survives the situation with his assassination target.
Yeah. Not a good thing at all. So, what I can tell from this is that wait a second. Okay, so Saki abandoned the plan. Hamato basically barely survives. He comes home. Tang Shen takes care of him. And then it's the two of them face to face. And I guess the master. I guess Saki killed the master or something or else, and he's the next master in line or something. And Saki wants to turn it into a criminal empire, and Hamato Yoshi says he will not be a party to this disgrace, and then
because he's going to have a family to think about.
Yeah.
I do love the shredder blades on his shoulders in that scene. Lets you know how close he was to that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Now, see here, the reason why I got confused is when you said that Saki basically abandons the plan. I thought Saki abandoned the plan to go kill Tang Shen.
Oh.
But that's not what happens.
No, it's a flashback in the flashback, or flash forward in the flashback here on this page. Yeah. Come on, guys, don't confuse us. No, I don't know if he killed the master, if the master just happened to die, but that would be too convenient. I think I think he did that. I think he did kill the master.
Wouldn't surprise me. So Shen's last wish was that Splinter or Hamato Yoshi forsake vengeance and flee to safety with with their children.
That's a hard thing for a samurai. Well, ninja. That's a hard. Any honorable person is the vengeance
Yeah.
is first. But way to go, Yoshi.
Yeah. And he's still. This is what's so weird to me when they do flee and they are, Mikey, Donnie, and Leo are making the fire, and Raph comes up to him and asks him, why do they have to eat berries for dinner? Why can't we have something better? It's so weird to me that after he left the Foot Clan, he still has his armor on. Look at that close up.
Yeah.
I mean, those blades are fairly not so close to Raph's face, but they're right there.
This makes me want to know what their names were. What their Japanese names were.
Yeah, since April really did name them, yes. That would be interesting.
Yeah,
to
I
know.
doubt Hamato Yoshi and Tang Shen named them after Renaissance painters, 200-year-old Renaissance painters and sculptors. Yeah,
No.
we really like those European names. We're hipsters. We're Japanese hipsters.
So we get back to the present here, and he says, "Over time, I came to realize that I was not entirely correct, though. Tang Shen had been killed; she was never gone. So much of her spirit lives on through our sons. Her intelligence and curiosity, and this is really what's interesting to me about this story, is it shows Donnie, it shows Raph, Leo, and Mikey, and it's all characteristics of Tang Shen.
And oh god, it just rips my heart to see that. I love that. Oh.
And we get Splinter basically kicking more ass.
And this also this answers one of Splinter's questions from the storyline. He's as he in the trade the original storyline. He's beating up the Foot Clan. He's like, okay, I'm not this angry guy that I used to be before. I'm calmed down. And I've made this promise. I've never taken a life with this rat body. There's Orokosaki, the guy that I swore vengeance on and said I'm going to come for you. Am I going to end up killing him? And in the last panel of this issue, there's the knocked out Foot Clan behind him, and he says, "Do you remember what I promised you?"
Yeah.
And I think if things would have gone differently, that I hope at least that Splinter would not pull back and that he would eliminate this threat, because it would save so many lives and it would get the vengeance that this evil man deserves for killing those 4 little boys and that little girl.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I think
I've
that question is answered.
Yep. I've got an alternate cover here. It's Splinter surrounded by Foot, mixed with a part of the flashback where it's Saki. Or no, it's Hamato Yoshi. I see. Oh, that's really interesting.
I think I have that. Yep, there it is.
It's on the top left. It's Hamato Yoshi and surrounded by the ninjas or the Foot or whatever else from the past, and then on the bottom is Splinter and the current Foot Clan.
Yep,
that's really interesting. All right, last story of the day, folks. We're gonna go put in some slap shots with Casey Jones. So where does this? I'm trying to think where this takes place, because
this was after issue 12.
Okay, yeah, because Raph is he's already been found. Okay, see, I thought this might have been like another approach to another part of the story when Raph and Casey first teamed up.
Yeah, this is after 12. Everybody's reunited, and they've resumed doing things like nightly patrols.
Right,
so life has kind of returned to normal for a short time.
Are you okay? We just got saved by a guy in a hockey mask and a giant talking turtle.
This is what happens when you go south of Canal Street. That makes me want to go to Google Maps and find out where Canal Street is. You know, that's one place I didn't go when I went to New York. When I went to New York on my honeymoon, I went to see the Ghostbusters Firehouse because it's a real place. I should have gone to 11th and Bleecker.
I can't believe you didn't. That's
I
so
know,
odd.
right? I think I had a hard time finding it. Like, those two streets don't actually intersect, but I've done more research and I just wasn't looking correctly. So next time I go to New York, I'm going to go to 11th and Bleecker. I don't think there's going to be an antique store there.
11th and Bleecker. Nope, this is only 9th Street.
Get it? No, I don't get it because I'm not from New York. I don't get that joke. Because he smells the air. Nope, it's only 9th Street. So there's something on 9th Street. Maybe a fish market or something. I don't know.
But the line between the woman and the man reminds me of, what the heck was that? Looked like a giant turtle in a trench coat. You're going to LaGuardia, right?
What happened?
Come back here. I'm not finished with you. Damn.
We should just do a podcast where we recite the whole movie in order with our best impressions that we could do. You think anybody'd listen to that? Probably not.
No, well, we could do it commentary style. I'm not opposed to that. I can make that an MWire commentary in a heartbeat.
Dude, it would not be a commentary. It would be us reciting the movie.
It's still a commentary.
That would be the worst episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 ever. They just say the movie with the guys.
So after this saving of these people, we go back to Casey's home, and I still can't believe he's going home. Like that, I thought that was the whole point of Raph in the first micro series, basically saving him. I understand why it's happening now to tell the story that this issue is going to tell, but if this happens after the reunification from issue 12, I still can't believe Casey's going home.
Casey's going home because of the promise.
Yeah, that's true. So this issue, after Raph and Casey go on patrol, it basically turns into your dad made some bad choices, and it's basically Gangland Town at this point. I like it. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's like I feel like I'm reading the 2003 Daredevil movie right now.
Yeah, you're right. Only Casey
Only
Jones
Casey-
isn't blind,
Yeah, only Casey isn't blind.
and he's not smart enough to go to law school.
Yeah.
So he comes home, dad's drunk. Gambling debt collectors knock on the door and threaten Casey Jones's dad. He has a name. What's his name?
Oh,
It's in here.
I just remember Casey calling him a stupid drunk. I'm sure his mom says it. It's probably on the next couple of pages with his mom.
I think it's Arnold.
Yeah, Arnie. That's right. You're right, Arnie. That's what she says because it's at the end when when the father shows up. But we finally get to see Casey's mom, and she's in the hospital. I assume she's dying of, is it cancer or AIDS? I forget which one it is.
I would vote on cancer.
Okay, I don't mean to be insensitive saying AIDS, but I thought that's what I read somewhere in here, but I could be wrong. So Casey is her strong boy, and we go back to the father and Casey, and Casey's narration is stupid, well, that'll have to wait, stupid drunk. And he enlists the help of Raph to go after these gangsters, and basically says that, hey, everybody's off limits, especially Jones. And again, the art styles are even though these art styles are so different from the ongoing, I love how they transition from how dark it is with Casey and Raph in the alley, and how dark it is in the Jones household, to how bright even though it's bright orange a little bit, in this club with where the gangsters are. It's a nice little touch to change up the color palette like that. Raph in a hoodie just looks weird. Raph in a hoodie just looks wrong. I was really hoping for, a
Trench coat and a fedora.
Yep.
You're not fooling anybody.
So Casey and Raph go after these guys, and he basically says, Matthew's paid up, and so is, and Arnold Jones is paid up too. He's off limits. And the gangster questions him. Jones is off limits.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And it's brutal too. It doesn't. I don't know. It seems more personal in those panels. And he takes back the hockey necklace that Arnie tried to pay to the guys to buy them off for a few days, which was given to Casey by his mom. So he's got that back.
Yeah. Gambling's a bad habit. Stop doing it. I almost think that line would have been better coming from Raph than Casey. But I get it. So Casey goes back to the hospital to visit his mom, and Arnold shows up, and it's basically a family reunion. So that's always interesting. And then we get back to their house, and the father thinks that he's given him sass and everything else, and he says, do you think you're some tough guy? And he just wants him to let him go to bed. And, his mother's words come back to him. Remember, your father isn't as strong like you. And part of the way you have to take care of him is not letting him see that. Promise me you'll let him feel strong.
I don't think she meant let him beat you up, kid.
No.
But
no.
Your heart's in the right place, Casey. And
Yeah.
It's not like you can't take it because you're a champ, but
Yeah.
still, that's a terrible situation to be in for a guy.
Yeah, it is. And Casey basically gets, between that panel of his mom with her, I assume that his parents are married. I don't think that they would be divorced. I don't know.
And I think he was driven to drink by her death. I don't think he was a douchebag before that.
Yeah, no. But I'm trying to keep my promise, Mom, but I don't know how much longer I can keep going like this. And he looks pretty beat up, and he shows up at second time around, and the Turtles are like, "Whoa, Casey!"
Now, so the Turtles are shocked at seeing Casey beat up. I'm sure at least Raph has it figured out.
Raph has it figured out because Raph
was there.
Yeah.
I think something amazing happens in the very next issue. I think. As a result of what just happened there. But I won't spoil it. But I will tease you.
You're talking about issue 13,
Yes,
correct?
issue 13.
Okay.
I'm gonna... It's behind my... I have to peek. I have to look.
So it basically...
Knocked everything over. Safe. Okay.
Joe's always screwing stuff up.
All the time. Yeah, I can't reach it. But yeah, it gets good.
Yeah. And it ends with Casey saying, "Of course I am. I can take it, no problem. I'm the strong one." And like you said, he's got that hockey necklace. There is an alternate cover here with Casey with his Cricket sticks. Did they use the line in this? I swear they used the line in this.
Nobody plays cricket.
It's cricket.
You gotta know what a crumpet is before you understand cricket.
I swear they used that somewhere recent. I swear I read that line. Not the exact word for word from the movie, but I think it might have been Raffer, it might have been Casey that says you got to have some crumpets to go along with cricket or something like that. So you've got that, and then like I said before, next time when we do Volume 5, Krang War, which will be, of course, after we do Volume 4, Sins of the Father, which is, I assume, that's going to be more Splinter stuff. I will say here, just to basically tease Joe, we have Splinter designs all in pencil in the back of the trade.
All right.
We have more Splinter and we also have some Tang Shin designs. Very, very cool. And we have Casey. We have a Casey sample, an April sample, and a Fugitoid sample. So, very, very cool. Overall, so far, the first two stories in the Micro Series Volume 2, absolutely love both of them. They basically take up where the current story is going and kind of, give you that extra insight into both Casey and Splinter. I think we're going to wait to grade this one until we get to the final two later in the Volume 5 reviews. So, but so far, there wasn't anything out of these two stories. Again, my nitpick about, Shredder wearing a Snuggie. But, other than that, it's absolutely amazing storytelling.
The series has done a wonderful job of making all of these characters more real, and they've made them all more real, like the mom's characteristics coming out in the Turtles. That's beautiful. It's a stroke, an artistic flourish that no one's ever done before. They're making everybody more real, but they're doing it while referencing just about every other incarnation of the Ninja Turtles. They're paying homage to everything. And it's that fan service. It's that the creators are in love with the source material, and it shows. I think that is, it's obvious, and I like that they're doing such a beautiful job with it.
Yeah, it's so great. The art, the story. I was kind of afraid looking at the contents of the trade. When I mean contents, I mean table of contents, because it shows you in the trade where the stories start. Like like that. It's basically if you bought a book. It says Splinter is on page 5, Casey's on 29, etc., etc. What I love about it is, what I was fearful about it is because it's not Eastman and Waltz doing these. I was like, oh no, are they gonna not stay true to the story? And they do. Mm-hmm. They basically amplify what Eastman and Waltz are doing in the ongoing, and it's absolutely brilliant.
It seems to be stuff that they want to cover to paint the full picture, but that they don't have room to print. Mm-hmm. And so it doesn't when you put it in a separate trade like this, it doesn't interrupt the story. Mm-hmm. But when you are reading it in order, you get that giant complete picture that we comic nerds seem to love.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. I absolutely love. Like I said originally, I thought the micro series, they're just supposed to be one-shot stories, and they kind of are. But they still, like you said earlier in the last episode we did, they still do tie in a little bit to the main story, which is nice, because there are some times when you want an entire TV show to be wholly continuity driven, and there are other times where you want, one-off episodes, and luckily this isn't doing that. Luckily this is doing the continuity stuff, so... All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You're going to hear some ads and some other stuff, and we'll be back to close the show after this.
This is 80s action sensation Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm here to tell you about the podcast I produce called Punish Your Body Count. It's the net's best Punisher podcast. Well, don't take my word for it. Listen to the hosts. Punisher Body Count is
a work in progress.
To listen to this great show, you can find us on iTunes. Just search Punisher Body Count or come to our website, PunisherBodyCount.com.
It's action. It's drama. It's comedy. It's Decian, the superhero webcomic. Decian's got superhero antics and sexy girls. Read it now at Decian.com. DASIEN.com.
We are back, and that's going to do it for this time around on Back Issue Classics. I think the next time we'll be doing a Back Issue Classics in general will probably be Turtles Volume 4, and I think that's also coming up here in April. Yep, that'll be out April 23rd, 2014. And then after that, we've got Back Issue Classics is going to take a little bit of a spin. I'm going to grab JT from Saskatoon, and we're going to do the DC Forever Evil 7-issue miniseries. I'm going to find somebody to do Batgirl Volume 1, and then Steve and I are going to do Batman Eternal issues 1 through 4. And then after that, coming up in May, is Batman Month, celebrating 75 years of Batman. Anything you want to pimp out, Joe? When's Geek Stuff Garage Sale going on?
Our Geek Stuff Garage Sale, tentatively speaking, is the second weekend of June this year, barring any local or nearby conventions. That's usually what we try to avoid scheduling against, because then nobody comes. They all go to JFAX or Wizard World or so. But the second weekend of June is what we're looking at. I could easily go online and find out for sure, but that's really where you want to aim, and you can find us on Facebook at Geek Stuff Garage Sale. If you go in there and search, we'll come up. And if you're in the area, if you're anywhere near Midwest Michigan, it'd be worth a daily drive, and I'll give you a list of other geek stores you can check out in our area. We're rich for that.
Very cool, very cool. So that's going to do it for us. I am TFG on Mike with...
I have been Joe Reed.
Make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time.
Awesome! Bodacious! Yeah! Good shit! Yeah! Gnarly! Radical! Yeah! Totally toothless, dude! Wicked! Delicious! Mega!
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Huh?
I made a funny.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pullback, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you are leaving the message for, and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Geekcast Radio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.